fait Colline pour montrer.
Everyone who is participating in the Vegetable Garden World Cup, welcome to this webinar where we're going to talk about seedlings and sowing. And very happy to address this message, these technical messages to you, and to see how you're doing in this Vegetable Garden World Cup. I am with Nelsina. Nelsina is going to introduce herself just like I will in a second. We are speaking English. This is recorded, so anybody who is not with us today can follow and watch this video afterwards. I'm the president of Landestini, Henry. I'm very happy to be here. I love teaching kids about food, about vegetable gardens, about nature. That is what we love to do at Landestini. We think that nothing is more important than the health of our children. And we think that learning how to produce vegetables and learning how to grow food is just as important as learning how to read, write, and count. Nelsina, pleasure to see you again.
Yes, nice to see you all. Thank you. So I am part of the team of Landestini. Really nice to see this kind of projects to connect kids and adults to the land and to see that how grows, how the products grow and how does it come from. And this is really marvelous to see this kind of projects and to see what you did, what you do with the kids in the garden. So wonderful.
Thank you so much for participating, and thank you for your work, Nelsina. We're going to go right into this webinar with a first disclaimer. This is recorded. If you are not speaking, it's best to mute your microphone. And we will share the slides and this video. Excuse me. We will share both of these elements and this information after as well. Keep track of your emails, but no stress. Participate in the webinars and in the challenges, but no stress. Nothing is mandatory. This is all for pedagogical and fun, hands-on learning experiences for youth around the world. That is what's important. We're going to talk about a few reminders on the contests and the experience. We're going to talk about how the vegetable garden grows from the part of sowing seeds, the very beginning, because we're doing that right now in our vegetable gardens for the most part. But some of you that may be in more tropical areas or in the southern hemisphere, you are probably more advanced, and at least with a certain amount of plants. But we're going to talk about sowing today. And we'll talk about the self-evaluation form, which we call a kind of like a little book because it's lengthy. There's a lot of questions, but it's a very pedagogical and useful tool. And then we're going to talk about the challenges because some of you participated in the challenge that we launched, and so we're going to announce who won. So that's a fun part of this webinar. Let's go right into it. Reminder of who our team is. I'm Henry. Nelsina, you met as well. Colline, Francesca, Luna, and Marjorie are respectively in charge of different parts of France and different parts of the world with regards coordination of the Vegetable Garden World Cup. Colline, very much in charge of Northern Europe, speaks a little German, also works on our athletic program, as I can say, the tennis Vegetable Garden Cup in France, as she's very familiar with sports in her background. Francesca from Italy is in charge, obviously, of the Vegetable Garden World Cup participants in Italy, where it's doing very well. Oh, I see Amy has joined us. Hello, Amy. We're right into it. We'll get to talking about your different projects in a second, but it's nice to have you, Amy. Good to see you. I know it's really early for you there in the United States, even on the East Coast. So Francesca works on the Italian participants. Luna, as she is very fluent in Spanish, is coordinating Latin American participation in Spain. So very happy to work with her. And Marjorie, who is in the Reunion Islands, is kind of our coordinator for France's offshore territories and the Reunion Island in particular, where she is. Let's keep going. What we like to remind during this Vegetable Garden World Cup is the calendar. We started in October. The announcement of the winners. Let me just make sure I move my little box here because I can't see the dates because of the shared screen. June 24th is when we would announce the winners. So I'm gonna make the question now, and you can say it in a few moments. Is that a good date for you guys? Is that okay? We're going to do that by video conference. Normally, I think you may have also received an email about that, but we are going to probably use the same time, if I'm not mistaken. And so now you can correct me if I'm wrong. Yes, 12 p.m. here in France, and on June 24th. And what's important for us is to know that that's a date that is relatively compatible with the presence of your students, because we want to be able to have students see live when we announce the winners. We are here to support you throughout the whole process, the WhatsApp, the emails, the shared drive, the correspondence between teams and schools across the world is very important to us. We encourage you to do that, even if we're already well into the semester. And we're going to have a few more webinars with these multidisciplinary challenges that we've already mentioned. So very exciting experience that we try and coordinate and make fun the whole way through. I'm going to ask Amy if you want to speak as well. Yelena, I know that you're in a room with a lot of people, how you are doing, and let us know how the vegetable garden project is going right now with you guys. Amy, you can start if you want. Go ahead.
So as far as we've done, we got our permission slips back that we just got all those back. That was a feat,
Permission.
and we did.
You're now allowed to do the vegetable garden. Is that what you mean?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. Good. Good.
First, I had to get the authorization, so now we have it. We have a space. This block of time has been tricky because we had a vacation week, and then we've had so much snow. We've had so many snow days. We haven't been in
Yeah.
school.
Yeah.
Um,
Because you're in
so
the
now
northeast of the United States, correct? Near Boston?
near Boston, yes.
Yeah.
So,
Pretty cold.
yep. It's been a banner year for snow. So we've had more snow than in the last 10, 12 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now my brother-in-law is coming to build our garden out of
Fantastic. That is
the materials.
intra-family solidarity and help.
And we have a space at our school that we're going to do it at. And so that's basically, we're at the beginning phase. And we loved Estonia. We loved seeing. So I shared with my class when I was trying to explain this to my class.
Where
It was
Estonia
a little
was.
tricky. They weren't quite catching on to what we were doing. And then when we saw some of the entries for this competition, we didn't enter one, but when we saw the other entries, they were like, "Oh, now I get it." It was very beautiful. Like there was the beautiful preschool one, I think, from Estonia, and there was one from someplace else. We looked at some of those, and that was just so helpful and beautiful. So thank you.
That's a great transition to give the floor to Yelena, who can remind us where she is in Estonia and if she's the preschool or the other one that you're mentioning.
Yes, I'm from preschool. About our
Super.
competition at the moment, we start with the children. We put some cucumbers in the window sills.
Yeah.
We will start to grow cucumber in our classes, so we see the smallest cucumbers is coming, like start to grow. Also,
Super.
we put pepper, paprika, like the paprika is grow, and today our one class put onion on to grow, and tomorrow we will put to greenhouse radish. It's
Excellent.
correct. So we start a little bit, and our tomatoes are inside the water. Some we are waiting when they start to grow, and we will put it to the ground. So
Excellent.
like ground, in the ground will come cucumber, tomatoes, paprika, and radish, and onion at the moment. And we want to grow some herbs with the smaller one children. So after we can do a tea. So,
Yep.
but we are waiting a little bit. It's we just now we don't have a lot of snow starting our spring, but also not so warm outside. It's like 8 degree outside. So we are waiting a little bit. And
Excellent. Well, it was really nice to kind of see that ping pong. The vegetable garden convenes us all, gathers us all around this very important cause, which is education and the health of youth and kids. So this is very cool to hear your progress. I want to also give Amy, you want to say a word, even if it's off topic, about the math program that you could participate in. If you know 1 minute on that, I think it's very important to give light, to shed light on different initiatives that work on education of kids worldwide.
Sure. So thank you very much for that. I am a fourth grade teacher right now, and I've been teaching for many years. And what I noticed in my classroom over the years is that students were coming in from different countries. It's a very multicultural school where I am, different languages and different math knowledge. What I noticed is we have students with varying abilities and language background and math knowledge background. So I started researching it and going into it, and I became a math coach for our district. And then I went traveling for a year to visit schools to see how math is taught to 9 and 10-year-olds in particular. And then I came back and brought what I learned while I was traveling to my classroom. And now I've been organizing trips for teachers to join me. So if somebody is interested in just hearing more about what I'm doing or we're going to Plymouth, England, to 4 different types of schools. One's a forest school. So I think they would totally be into this. I'm going to have to share this with them when I go because I think they would love this garden aspect because they're so nature oriented in their forest school. And so that's what I've been working on outside of joining this
But
group.
well, super. I think that's you see a lot of kind of coherence, as we say in French, overall commitment. So I'm very happy that you mentioned it. We're going to keep going, notably so that it's nice and fluid for those that are going to watch the video and talk about the seedlings and sowing, which is one of the main activities right now. And of course, this is something that you have to do in accordance with, the local climate. So some seeds might need to be in a little cup. Others can go directly into the soil, particularly if you're in a more warm area. If you have a greenhouse, that changes things too. But overall, we're going to give information about sowing and talk about the techniques and how to get seeds and stuff. And it's a very exciting moment because it's the start. And you can also just buy plants that are already a certain development. If you're late, that's nothing wrong with that. But going from the seed all the way to the plate is a very rewarding experience. And as someone who did it really late, after the age of 30, I feel like I'm privileged to have learned that we're giving something fabulously important to kids that they can see the seed all the way to the plate. And don't hesitate to share your experiences as I go through this. The seed, the sowing calendar, equipment for sowing seeds. That's what we're going to talk about. And the seed is something that's is very much alive, very easy to start with. It's very important to start with that. It obviously needs water, needs daylight, and it needs some kind of substrate. And so when we talk about the equipment, we'll talk about that. But make sure that you're going to give a good amount of daylight to your seedlings, to the little substrate with the seeds in it. I like to put it, next to a window when it's inside. That's why the greenhouse is also important. Your vegetable garden should have a good amount of exposure. In France, on the northern hemisphere, exposure towards the south. It's obviously reversed if you're a different part of the planet. So make sure that it's getting as much daylight as possible because, that's the second ingredient that's going to need. Now, seedlings do need to be watered a good amount. Particularly in the beginning, don't overwater. You don't want to drench them. That could also happen. So don't forget to put it as a very easy, simple reminder, but put something underneath. If it's a little, as we say in French, a good day, or one of those little, I guess, little cups for a little plastic container. You can use reusable ones and not and avoid plastic. But whatever you do, make sure that there's you might wet and soak whatever's underneath if it's indoors, right? And notably, I'm thinking about your classrooms. So take into account the water will go through. Um, and it's a very fun experience to diversify the seeds. We'll get to that in a second. To have different types of the different vegetables, and it's something you can do at all ages. My boys at 2 years old, they were putting seeds into different substrates. Um, if we talk about where to get seeds, different experiences, different places have different experiences in this Vegetable Garden World Cup. Stores where you have the vegetable garden as a focus or as a theme is obviously uh, very easy to understand. I mean, the local stores have them, even grocery stores sell a lot of seeds. And what does it say right underneath in stores? Yes, but not only there. Okay, yeah. Retrieve your own seeds. You always should think about, I mean, if you want to be in a kind of a circular economy, closed circuit, ecological and eco-friendly approach, well, you always have a few plants that you let go to seed, and then you retrieve the seeds kind of at the end of that plant's cycle. So these are plants that you have not harvested the same way. You always have a little bit that you let go to seed and retrieve the seeds so that the next year you can have the seeds of the plants that you wanted or of all the plants. And you can really, after one season, become pretty much autonomous in your seeds. Even though it's fun to exchange them in this Vegetable Garden Cup, don't hesitate on the WhatsApp. Say, can I send you some seeds? And we do that. Exchange them with local farmers. Exchange them with local inhabitants, neighbors. I think that's a fun thing to do. It's also fun because it creates linkage between people, and it's also useful. Some seeds and some plants are better adapted to the local climate, to the local area than others, and you learn that as you go along. Don't hesitate to raise your hand if you want to share an experience of seeds sharing. Seeds adapted to the local climate. That's what I already said. Yes, sorry. I'm just moving the boxes of people over to this side so I can see everything that's written. 5 questions ask yourself when you're looking at the seeds. Where do these seeds come from? If they're not local, are they suitable for my climate? Do I have information whether or not these seeds are hybrids or not? Yeah. If these are French certifications, by the way, so it's not going to be applicable to, I won't spend too much time. But some seeds, if they're hybrid, the food is not going to be edible, like some squash varieties. So just, you probably won't fall on that in stores for one, even in sharing them. But it's good to ask the question, say, what kind of seeds are these? I want to make sure they're not hybrid varieties. And you can also have experiences of hybridization in your own vegetable garden. And so those seeds that you can, we've had that where plants kind of merge, and so you can't use the seeds afterwards, or we were careful with that. We're not talking about anything risky. We're just talking about not being able to eat the varieties or them not working as well. Yeah, it is important for our general knowledge to understand that seeds do lose their fertility, germination, as we say, with every year that passes. So if you keep seeds for a long time, after 4 or 5 years, don't expect much out of those seeds. So it is important that the seeds are, as I would say, in quotes, fresh, but obviously still very alive. And that's why we recommend to store them in a cool and dry place in general. And what species and variety of these seeds goes back to the encouragement of mine to look for different varieties of the same vegetable. That is very fun to do educationally, because very often we think they're just tomatoes. There are as many as 300 types of tomatoes. Same thing with different types of squash, different types of cabbage, different types of even potatoes. And sometimes they have funny names. Some potatoes, and at least in French, I don't know if we say this in English actually, as a first name of a person, like they're called Charlotte potatoes. So the interest in vegetables and in the diversity of nature that we consume is very much something to look at right from the get-go with the seeds. I'm going to keep going, but don't hesitate if there are any questions or comments. The calendar is very important because the seed and the plant likes different temperatures and likes different times of the year. And so according to the calendar, you're going to choose different seeds, and you're also going to choose what kind of environment to put the seed in. Indoors in pots, there's the word I was looking for earlier. I'm losing my English. Sorry about that. It's my experience of living and working in France principally, or mainly. The pots very often are necessary. You can do direct sowing, but you choose the vegetable accordingly. And the reason why is because different seeds are going to be more resistant to colder temperatures and to a little bit less sunlight and exposure, which is why we have greenhouses sometimes just for seeds and just for the seedlings, because that allows you to really be efficient and it's a fun experience. That's why in the classroom you can have your seedlings next to the window. I insist on that. And it's a very fun experience to see if one year you do a little bit of experimentation. I encourage this. Have some seeds, maybe try them outdoors, maybe try others in the pots and see what happens between the two. What does cold mean to a tomato plant, for example? 8 degrees, this is Celsius, by the way. Tomato plants are very sensitive to cold. Beware of cool nights. This can lead to the death. That sounds a little bit morbid, but of the plant or the introduction of diseases. And what does it say here? Shoot, I have right next to the number 13. I don't see what's right in front of it. Sorry. In France, do not harvest before the latest moment when it can freeze again during the night. Yes. Pay attention. This is obviously very relevant for, I see Yelena and Amy are in pretty cold climates a lot of the year. If there's the potential for freezing that is very known and established, and everybody knows that you should wait for a certain date before you plant a certain plant, before you sow a certain seed, pay attention to that. In France, we have the ice saints, we call it. And so we wait until after that date, until before we plant certain things. And that's because if it does freeze, well, then the work that you did before is going to maybe be canceled. It's also on a side note, it's something to take into account for fruit production, because trees are particularly vulnerable to this. It's not much you can do when a tree starts to have what the development on its branches that we call the bourgeon in French. If it freezes, there are ways to protect your trees, but it's not that easy. And I know there's a lot of people who participate in the Vegetable Garden World Cup who plant trees. There's different ways of doing it, like trying to, if it's been snowing a lot, you actually put snow on the tree. Snow is a good way of isolating and protecting the tree's future fruits, but it's not perfect. Professionals, they'll literally have a heating system, but that's pretty difficult to put into place. We're obviously not expecting that. So it's not easy. The best thing to do is to just be as sensitive and aware of the calendar as possible. And the last thing that we want to mention here in the calendar is, how many seeds do you put into each little space, into each hole? Different plants function differently. And for example, carrots, you put a lot because then you're going to do what's called clearing out and taking away some of the small plants, but you need to kind of be in a statistics game with them, with the carrots, and plant as many as possible. Other plants, you really don't want to do that. You just want to have one because you don't want to create that competition for the water and the sunlight between two plants. So it's a fun game to understand which plants should be in more or less numbers of seeds in each area. And here is a calendar, which is fun to look at with your kids and your as both parents and teachers and your students in open ground outdoors in mid-March, which is right about when we are now, where we're talking about peas, broad beans, radishes, onions, garlic, shallots, lettuce, turnips. Mid-April, go on to squash, zucchini, pumpkin. End of April, yeah, nice to plant flowers. Some are edible and some are decorative, and that's great. Both is important. Reminder, we really value pretty, aesthetic, and nice to look at vegetable gardens. That's even a prize. So it's not about the best looking vegetable garden, but it is only. That's not the most important thing, but we do value that, obviously, if you really made a point with your kids and your students to do as much decoration as possible and make it as nice to look at, because that obviously attracts people also, and then has an education purpose and goal. And in mid-May, chili, peppers, tomatoes, bell peppers, eggplants, these are examples. In a bucket inside, you mentioned the chili peppers, the tomatoes, the bell peppers, eggplants, because they need to be a little bit more protected from the cold temperatures. I'm going to maybe, yeah, give you a chance if you want to react and comment, share examples in the calendar. Go ahead, Amy and Yelena, if you would like to. Otherwise, I will keep going. Just raise your hand or speak up. Say, yeah, we also are gonna we need to plant this now, et cetera, et cetera. Very excited to hear experiences of sowing on your side of the world, if you want to share that now. Otherwise, why should we be particularly interested in seeds, the sowing calendar, and then specifically radishes and peas? Well, they're very satisfactory, if I may say so, for this contest because we have a high percentage of success. They go fast. Easy to eat them, easy to share them. There's lots of varieties. And starting from the end of February all the way to June, it gives a pretty large space and time to do peas and radishes. So we have a lot of fun with those, and we encourage you to look into those. I'm going to look into the chat. I see that there are a couple of messages. Good list, thank you. Radish is the most satisfying grow. Yeah, yeah. Easy to eat. It's not that messy also, for them having an experience of eating them in class. So we're really big on the radishes and the peas. I'm going to continue and just put my little chat box here. Make sure that, there we go. Equipment, buckets, pots. The water must be able to drain from the pot. That's important. Okay, we need this movement, just like nature does it itself when we don't intervene. So that's why I mentioned also making sure that you have something underneath so that you don't drench your books, textbooks, or tables if you're doing this inside next to the window. The substrate, buy seed starting mix or make your own. Choose a substrate that doesn't retain water, otherwise you'll get mold. And add 2 tablespoons of crushed charcoal or 1 liter of potting soil to destroy the fungi. That is a recommendation. What's interesting in doing your own substrate is that's an activity in itself. If you put natural substrate, natural elements, you can actually be pretty surprised at what you can grow food. Obviously, we're talking about a minimum amount of soil, obviously. But you put a little bit of wood chips. You can put dead leaves. Permaculture, this idea of creating a permanent aspect to agriculture. That's what that word permaculture is. This contraction between permanent and agriculture. And it looks at much more than just producing food. Permaculture. It's an approach to a lot of different human activities, by the way. But to focus on that, the principles of permaculture is to really look at what you have around you. To combine different physical elements that are all natural, obviously non-polluted, and that create a certain density, but also the availability, the possibility for water to go through it, and the degradation of these elements, which is really not a just word when you think about it, but the degradation of these elements really contributes to the soil's fertility. And in vegetable gardens, and in forests, and we really talk about, I don't know if we say it in English, in French we call it the hummus, and I don't think you say that in English because that really makes us only think of the Mediterranean very good paste from chickpeas. So if there's a translation of that, I'm most in favor of a little help there, of the humus rather. And what's important, obviously, I mentioned it, is watering. Watering cans, but if you don't have access to watering cans, you can also use recycled or used water bottles. Not over watering, as I mentioned, and don't put any hot water in, and don't put any really cold water either. This is common sense, but plants have similarities to us with regards of what is comfortable and what allows them to grow. And when I said overwatering, you shouldn't be drenching the soil. It should be very nice and humid. Okay. And what I very often do is I just literally just touch the soil and see if it's humid. If it feels dry, then I know I gotta water. If it feels really dry, um, at least in the coming hours. But the seedlings can be watered once to twice a day. And it's not a perfect science, okay, because the temperature and the humidity in the air is going to play a role on how humid the soil stays, but it should be in general um, at least relatively humid during a lot of the day. Let me see what we have in the chat. We say hummus in Massachusetts. Okay, good. So I didn't say something that was completely off base. I'm very glad to learn that. Let's keep going. Why discover sowing seeds with your students? Set up a simple, hands-on, relatively quick experiment to explain the plant cycle's life, developing soft skills such as patience, observation, respect, and care for the planet. That goes without saying throughout the whole vegetable garden, but I think this is something that's very, very real for the seeds because one, it's not a very, very long process from day one all the way to 6 to 8 weeks when you see the plant come out. So it's something that gives back to the students. They see it grow. It's concrete. Or concrete is what we would say in French. It makes sense in English, but we're really talking about the soil. So it's something that is very, very tangible. And secondly, it's something that is small and fragile. So you're going to have to be relatively handy and delicate with these seeds and the plant. And that's a good reminder that that nature is very resilient and very strong, but also needs care and needs respect. So we really see a lot of symbolism in learning how to go from the seed all the way to the plant and then to the plate. Numerous opportunities to create the link with the National Education Skills Framework existing in your country. Yeah, sciences of the soil, of biodiversity, natural sciences. The seed embodies diversity. It embodies the cycle, embodies and reminds of how come to life different plants. They're how numerous plants and life forms are in nature. I mean, a seed is one of many different types of the same plant. The same plant is one of thousands and thousands and thousands of species. And then you put it in soil and substrate, where if you put your hand and take a handful of soil that is in good form and good health, you're going to have as much biodiversity with regards to bacteria and small insects and organisms in that hand as you may have in terms of biodiversity in a whole city that is pretty polluted. It's to show the extent to which you can have a lot of nature in just very small spaces, and the seed is a very good reminder of that. So that's why we like to talk about this, and we encourage you to take the time to talk about this with your students. Are there any questions with regards the kind of technical elements we went over today with regards to seedlings? Please feel free. I am going to let Nelsina talk about the self-evaluation booklet and form, and that is useful for those of you that are wondering, how are we going to be evaluated? Do we need to worry and stress about certain things? My quick answer to that is no. This is all about everybody winning once you get your hands into the soil and getting your hands dirty. Nelsina, I will do this slide changing for you. Just say, Henry, next slide.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm gonna do my best with my English because I don't know how your English is so good, Henry.
Me neither. I'm forgetting it.
Okay, so this is something serious, the self-evaluation book, but also this is something where you can find information. I don't know if some of you already checked the complete form in the PDF version that I already insert in the shared drive. Okay, you saw it. So you can see in this form that you have a lot of information about what you can do in your garden, what you can share with your students, and to see already what kind of questions we're gonna ask to evaluate the winners. So, in a few days, you're gonna receive this PDF version on the internet version. So it's gonna be really easy to complete. We made a video. It's made in French, but I'm gonna speak in English to show you how it's going to look like. But just think about something. We try to do it as easy as possible for you to complete. So if you can turn the page, please, the slide. To receive this online self-evaluation book, you're going to receive an email with a unique link specific to each of you. Okay. So, what you have to do is to complete this online book, and you have a deadline for that. So, the 29th of May. This is important. This is a common date for everyone. And you just follow the instructions. So if you don't receive the email when I say, okay, you're going to receive it, I'm going to send you an email for that, and I'm going to send you information in the WhatsApp. So please have a look on your spams, and otherwise write us to tell us I didn't receive anything. Next slide. Okay, what is important? So, this self-evaluation book online is declined regarding the different prices directly. And what is really important for you is to always do the next page to be sure that everything is going to be recorded. Okay, you don't have any information with record the information, but doing the next, going to the next page will record. If you want to make sure, just make a test at the beginning. The first page asks you information about your school and who you are. So try to do this. Do next. Get
Yeah.
away from the online form and go back to see if everything is recorded. Maybe it's this the best for you to do to be sure that everything you're going to record to fill in is recorded. Next, please.
Yes. Sorry.
That's okay. So this is a video. So you're going to receive this an email written in English, personalized, and it says go to the self-evaluation book. So you see it's exactly the same than the PDF. So you start and you complete first of all the information about your school, about who you are. So you answer every question. So, which category are you in? So, what kind of school? And you say, okay, it's about this information about the rights, about the next page.
She
So,
clicked on next. Yeah.
yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, it goes directly. So, go on, keep going in filling it the form. So, it's pretty easy, and you can download pictures of your team at the beginning and your garden before when you start and when you finish. And after you start filling in the different category prices. So you have different pages for that, and it gives you the information about the potatoes you may win.
Because they're
It's
not points, they're potatoes, just so everyone gets that.
Yes. So
They're
you will,
basically points.
yeah, points. Yes. So it's everything will be written in English, and do not don't be worried about this. This is the French version, but it's going to be in English for you. So all the prices are represented, and as far as you're filling in, always remember click in next to be sure that it's going to be recorded. Take pictures during this competition. Always take pictures, small videos. In that case, you will be
You can
able
put them
to
in at
fill in.
different places. Yeah. Yeah. It asks for
Yes,
pictures pretty often.
yes, every time. So take pictures every time during this competition to show us how it was,
It
how it
helps
is.
it helps in your evaluation and when the jury is going to look over because that's a qualitative aspect that's not quantitative and that contributes to the overall score. Um, Once again, we're here to encourage you regardless of the score you get. And but we are going to give positive feedback and thus a higher score when you've done a little bit more, and that's rewarding. We want to be rewarding as well. Go ahead, Nancy.
Yes, I think everything is, I think
Has been
it's
shown.
done. Yes,
Great.
I think yes.
Are there any questions about the self-evaluation form, this booklet that helps also understand, the trajectory of the vegetable garden? Don't wait till the end to look at it. I
Yes.
would say that's important. It helps. Look at it as soon as you get it, because it's gonna just the questions give you advice indirectly and give you ideas. So we consider our role is not to organize a competition, it's to organize an educational experience and educational program. The contest is almost a pretext, but it's very rewarding as well, especially for kids. So we thought we struck a good happy medium between the two.
Yes, yes, you're right. Thank you. And now we're gonna announce the winners about the first challenge that we asked.
Launched.
Yes, so the first challenge was about showing your vegetable garden.
Do I go to the next slide, Nancy, now, or does that give it away already?
Just wait for the
Yeah,
moment. So
good. You
just to
tell me when to
remind,
do it. Yeah.
I will, thank you. So just to remind you, the topic was about a real or imaginary garden. So we received a few documents about different schools. So that's really nice to remind you that that was not an obligation, and this is not an obligation to participate on those challenges, okay? But for sure, you can win potatoes points if you do this, but feel free regarding your time and your moments with the kids, with the children. So we're gonna announce, you can go further, please, Henry.
Challenge number one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Show us your real or imaginary vegetable garden.
And one of the winners is
Very nice.
Estonia.
That's great. You're here. If you want
I
to
know,
say
no.
something, Yelena, if you want to say one little thing, go ahead.
Yes, please. Do you hear us, Yelena? I'm so happy that you're here. Yes. Do you
Yes,
want to
I hear.
introduce
Yes,
us quickly what you
yes.
did with your kids?
Yeah, thank you very much. It was uh, uh, I'm really excited. So we talked with children about our kindergarten. We did with plasticine. We did our kindergarten and put everything that we have in our playground. And after that, we are talking about that what you wanted to change or to do better in our kindergarten. And we asking with AI to do our kindergarten most creative with different gardening and everything. And we received this kind of the second picture that is very beautiful, that is organized, and there is a playground and also greenhouses and everything that we almost have in kindergarten, but in a very good picture. So it was like that.
But your picture with the
Excellent.
kids is really, really nice. That's really nice what they did. This is creativity. This is really nice. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Excellent. Excellent. Very cool. Very good to see you too, Yelena, and well done with all your students. And
Now we
then
have a second winner for primary elementary school from Slovenia too. And we have a video. I hope it's gonna work to
let's
share with
see.
you what they did. Yes. Oh,
There's no sound, or is there sound?
yes, there is.
Hold on then. What does that
Try.
mean? Does that mean that I need to put this?
Maybe,
Hold
yeah.
on.
En bas à
Let me
gauche,
see. If
left side, yeah.
I do this, yeah,
Do you hear them? I don't.
I do.
Oh, you do.
But
Okay, can you
I hear
try?
it on my computer. I don't know how to make sure you hear it if you don't hear it.
Hmm. Okay, I'm gonna try to do like this. It works. I'm gonna try to do it again. I'm gonna try. If Amy, you can say like this. If you hear the sound, I'm gonna try something. Put the video again at the beginning, please, Henry. I'm gonna try to do something.
We're young gardeners from Ljubljana, Slovenia. We would like to tell you about our garden. At the beginning of autumn, we explore nature around our school. When it gets cold, we continue exploring in the classroom. We are also curious about who lives in our garden. In autumn, we planted 3 fruit trees. And in winter, we plant our garden beds. Then we start growing plants from seeds. We also make our own school team. Every year, we want to be better and improve our garden. When we have problems, other teachers help us. This year, we have many goals and we are very excited.
This is wonderful too. This is a different
Fantastic.
experience shared with the children from Slovenia. That's just really, really nice too. So, um, yes, kind of pretty sensitive of this kind of information that you share with us, teachers, and with your kids. That's really nice to see
Thank you
how.
very much.
Mm, thank you. So it's wonderful. So congratulations. And now we announce the second challenge to come. So we offer you the opportunity to become a Sherlock Holmes in the garden.
Yes, Sherlock Holmes. Very well, nicely said. Yep.
And some of you already did it when you started your garden. Some of you already shared this kind of information. I saw that, but it's nice to try again because during the months, the weeks, we can see that you don't always see the same insects, the same animals in your garden. So what we suggest you is to choose an insect or an animal. Kind of, it depends on what kind of animal insects you have in your garden, but it can be an insect. Investigate it about how it is, where is it located, where does it come from, what does it stay a lot of time in the garden. Well, go further in investigating about this insect and how it helps in the garden, because every insect is important in garden. So after that, you will deliver an information about your investigation, so you can make a video or you can write information in pages that I'm gonna give you on the shared drive to complete. Feel free about the format you will use. But yes, be creative, be be creative, try to find them. You can have many of these insects, and I hope too you will have many insects. And trying to share that with us. Same, I think I put the
The
information.
deadline? Yep.
The deadline,
All the
yes,
information's there. Yep. April 20th.
yes. So go ahead. If you have any questions, do not hesitate. So we're gonna share with you all the information again in the share drive. I'm gonna send you an email. So do not hesitate to write us if you have any questions or to put information in the WhatsApp community. Feel free. I hope everything is clear, and sorry for my English.
No, that was great, Nelsina. Thank you so much. And we are going to conclude that webinar with that. And I'm going to stop the sharing of the screen. There we go. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and this webinar. For those of you that are respectively going to watch afterwards, and those that were with us today, thank you so much. It was great to see you. Continue to enjoy the Vegetable Garden World Cup. Continue to enjoy your commitment to sustainability and health, and particularly of youth. That was a webinar of the Vegetable Garden World Cup, everyone. Take care. See you soon in the vegetable garden.
See you soon. Enjoy.
So
Bye-bye.
long. Bye-bye.